Hello, people, and welcome to Moral High Ground, where I try to talk about what's morally right until I get into a rant and go off topic. Because the issues of the world today, let's face it, is way too much for most people to bear, and it's overwhelming. It's completely overwhelming. Today's episode is about is technology today good for, is today's technology good for mankind? You know, and it's the truth, okay? I've been pondering this because I've been going through crap that I'm pretty positive every American in America is going through right now with technology. I hate the crap where, and this is the part where I'm just gonna go off for a little while about things that piss me the hell off with technology. Okay, I hate the fact when you go to places they try to get you to go online to fill out applications. I used to like you just walk in and give you one, or they got them available in the lobby somewhere, or you know you go to a place and they say, well, we got an app. Like they got an app for. The clock in apps for jobs are cool. I give you an app to clock in for your job, and that way you don't have to stand in line and clock in like some idiot. I don't know how to explain what I'm about to say, but yeah, that's stupid. But yeah, and then you got the online things to learn how to use your insurance or learn how to freaking do your medical stuff, which is one I've been having a problem with lately. They got an app that's supposed to help you with everything that has to do with your medical history, your doctor's appointments, your medication, and then shit still ain't right. But it is still stuff they can't do, like they won't do. And it's the same thing in a lot of other apps and stuff. And so it's like, is that beneficial? Is it truly helping people? In some ways, maybe. In other ways, no. Is Zoom meetings really worth it? No, I don't think so. Having Zooms and stuff, unnecessary Zooms, isn't worth it. For like if you want to apply for a job, maybe a Zoom meeting is good. But other than that, Zoom meetings are bad. You know, and the thing I hate too is just like, oh, they email me this, email me that, or you're talking to someone face to face, and they rather talk to you on a damn internet. There's something wrong with this scenario. We're supposed to have togetherness as people. Ultimately, God's purpose is for people to get together, to procreate, to meet, uh, to share things in common, to be, uh, friendly ear for people. Not just, oh, yeah, I got this online and you can check this out. You know, in the days when the internet started getting popular in the early 2000s, it was already around in the 90s, but it got really popular in the early 2000s. Internet, the way I looked at it was, okay, I got an opportunity to make a business online, and you got total access to all types of ways to make business. And so this is what I look at when I think about a computer, even if I got a small business idea or a small project idea like this. And I just try to figure out how I can make money online at all costs. And so every time I'm on a computer, that's the main thing I think about. But whoever thought about freaking social media is a supervillain. Okay, is a supervillain, and they're running around trying to get people to pretty much sell their soul as contract. Why do you need contracts to be on something where everybody's on there? And they're putting stupid shit with like cats slapping dogs or some shit, and girls twerking all the damn time. It's so annoying. After a while, seeing so many images, you kind of get brainwashed. If you're not getting brainwashed, you're getting annoyed. It's irritating. It's so old, but they keep recycling the same garbage. I don't know how many times I heard this shit where it sounds like a gun is getting shot and a girl's going like this with their freaking clothes. I've seen billions of those videos, tons of different females, and it's like it doesn't make any sense. And it's like, okay, it's cool sometimes depending on how attractive or sexy the woman is, but no, it's just annoying. What purpose does it serve? Yes, we need entertainment, but to the extent that the internet is like oversaturated with it because of social media, as well as the fact that we already have streaming services and most of those are always online. If not, now you got on your TVs, your smart TVs, and everything. And it's to the point where there's so much social media, there's so much entertainment that you don't know what to pick and how to pick it, what's good, what's not. You know, the old days you used to put a movie in a movie theater and it didn't last like a week like now, or maybe a couple of days like now. Back in the day, I remember watching like a movie and it would be in the movie theater for months. I mean, I go back months later and that movie's still there. You can still watch that movie because it took them time to make something, and they would make stuff that was actually pretty good. They take time to make it right. They work on it a little harder, harder on like not just these special effects, but harder on dialogue and making a good story, telling a good story. Now I think they just pump them out, push them out there so quick, so fast that you're just like, okay, let's see this. Oh, and then you're all sitting there on these other sites, once again, websites, and you're going off about how crappy the movie was, the director did this. I mean, YouTube here, hell, we got tons of people with them shows, channels where they talk about what Marvel's doing or what, uh, at one time Cobra Kai was doing or what all these other shows are doing and movies are doing. And it's like, who the hell cares now? Because we all know they suck. Like, I'm not saying that these shows suck, like in general, but I'm saying we know Hollywood and whoever's making movies and stuff sucks. They don't have real writers. They have no imagination. You can make a movie back in the day. It have a shitty ass name too, something stupid, and then there'd be a whole bunch of cool shit going down, violence, a good story, good dialogues that you would remember, and kids would take to the playground and start copying and shit. You know, it's just like I remember when I watched Die Hard with my brother and stuff, and I was younger than him, but anyway, we went and we watched the Die Hard, and I remember Yippee Ki Yay, motherfucker, and that shit stuck with me forever. You know what I mean? But then later on, they started making all these sequels of Die Hard, and then Bruce Willis stopped saying it. It's less and less. He just no Yippee Ki Yay. You know, no references really to the first flick. Seriously, after the third movie, all the other Die Hards are pretty much just a random action movie. And the one where that dude just kept talking all the time. I forget the name of him. He's a comedian. A lot of people like him, but he talks so damn much through the movie. It was like, isn't this a Bruce Willis movie? What is this guy's thing? Is he's on stand up? They're shooting at him. Why is he there? And his character is irrelevant later on because Bruce Willis's son in one of the Die Hards is supposed to be like this CIA agent or some shit. It's just so crazy how technology has shaped and changed the way we lived in America. And it's like, okay, so they created a website called OnlyFans. OnlyFans is supposed to, I guess, communicate guys with girls that are somewhat famous. The problem is that these girls that are famous are just social media famous or ex porn stars or something. The problem with it is they're not doing anything different. They're not doing anything that's unique. There's maybe a few that might have some other type of stuff they're putting on there besides just look at my body and see me do sexual crap. But in all reality, I believe this whole thing with not just uh, stuff like OnlyFans, but like Instagram and all this, it makes girls think that they just have to look sexy and attractive and talk whatever way they want, and a guy's going to want them and they're going to stay. But that's not the case. The problem with it is that they're sitting back and they're honestly not thinking about the reality of the world. A guy needs something. This is like how a woman says she needs money from a guy, or she needs a guy that's going to be there for her kids or something like that. A guy needs the same thing. A guy needs to know he's getting a woman that will take care of him when he gets old. A guy needs to know a woman that's going to, be by his side at all times and be able to work with him, through thick and thin, they need that companion. We all do. But the internet has made it so difficult and so damn awkward. And I hate the fact, I love walking around talking to women in real life. I love seeing a woman smile. It makes my fucking day. And excuse me for discussing with that, but seriously, it makes my day. I like making them laugh. And if you meet me and you're a woman and you're cool, you come up with me with a cool, come at me with a cool personality. You're like, hey, Shelby, how you doing? Or if you see me here, you know me, whatever. And then you're like, hey, Shelby, how you doing? I'm like, hey, baby, what's happening? You know what I'm saying? You got to get into it and just be like, start saying, crack a joke, and I do it naturally. I be joking when I don't even try. I was in pain like a couple weeks ago, and I went to the doctor. That's probably why I'm not posting as many of these as I used to. But when I went to the doctor, this I had this serious pain in my body, and I'm just like, ah. And then they talking to me, and then naturally I'm just throwing out jokes, and I'm not even trying to. And I'm like, what the hell? And then I'm trying not to laugh, and everybody laughing. It's just messed up. It's just it has nothing to do with what I'm talking about. But still, my point is that a man has to be able to connect with a woman to love a woman, and you can't connect just because they look attractive and they're trying to copy the status quo or whatever the hell the social media created. And women need a guy to truly understand them and care about them, not just let's do it to me. Oh, you got money. Let's do. It's gonna get old quick. You're not gonna be attractive forever. Unless you're truly doing some serious maintenance on yourself, like the witch girls or rich girls out there. And the problem is not just with this scenario that I'm talking about with men and women and all that. The dating website thing is the big problem, is because somehow people have this mindset that they're going to find their significant other online. And this is why I'm saying in person, it's fun to see the other person's personality. To me, naturally, instinctively, to me, it's common sense to go up and talk to the opposite sex and try to be able to communicate, find a connection, some kind of common ground, something you have in common, something you can relate to, something that you can build a bond over, And when you're talking to them, you get to see the reaction of their face. You get to hear the tone of their voice. So you get to know if they're sad or getting sad or frustrated or whatever. You get to know these things by talking to them physically in person. But when you're doing this texting and you send a photo and that's all you do, that's not relationship worthy. It's just like somewhere in my mind, if that's what's going on and I'm texting and someone has got a photo, after a while it becomes really boring with me. I get bored so quick sometimes. Hell, most of the time when I'm dealing with other people, if it has nothing to do with something I'm interested in, I'll get bored really quick. And you hear me say, I gotta go. You know, Usually with that, when I do that though, people will come up with a whole bunch of shit. Oh, he's scared, or oh, you don't like me, and this and that and so forth. No, it's just boring at your place. It's boring wherever you are. Everything you do sucks. There's nothing getting cool getting going on. There's nothing. It's just stupid, and I can't even. It just makes me stutter and everything because I get frustrated trying to bring my, how can I say this, personality down to their level, not just their personality, but my intelligence level. Because I realize when I talk to people, sometimes they're not on the same intelligence level. So when I say things and then they be like, huh, this is so freaking stupid, which brings a whole nother subject up, which still has to do with online, once again, is education. When the internet first started, education schools, they were selling those off like crazy. Online colleges, online thing. You don't see that too much anymore. And if you do, it's like one of those, graduate school type of things, high school or whatever. But right now in our world, to be honest with you guys, with the gun shooting things on children and the whole thing with uh, trying to change kids to transgenders without parents knowing about it. That's anything the kids are getting taught without the parents knowing about it is a bad thing, negative thing. If it's in a way that alters their life in a drastic way, and altering your life to uh, please somebody else is not cool. You don't have to change anything about yourself. You just got to find out who you are and what you want to be. And the thing about it is, I think those online schools should come back, like different ones, but more private schools for kids, like, and just say to hell with public school because it's the same thing. It's just like same thing over and over again. No one's truly being taught. You're being taught to be a drone. You're being taught to be a labor worker. You're being taught to be a follower. The only thing you're learning is memory. If your memory's sharp, you would know this, you would know that. You know, but in all reality, they don't teach you about law because everyone, I don't care who you are, somehow you get caught up in the legal system. And I'm not talking about just going to jail and doing a crime. No, hell, you can park your car in the wrong spot and you got a parking ticket. You could just walk somewhere and all of a sudden you just jaywalked or something. They make the law so complicated to where anyone's a damn criminal, pretty much. And it's like no one truly knows it. So that's why they created law school and all this crap. We wouldn't need law school. We wouldn't need attorneys if everybody knew the law, uh, Batum by Batum, you know. So it's like regular education system, public school education system is not teaching it properly. They'll have mock trials, but they're not teaching it properly. These kids don't know how to do taxes. There was some crap in my high school where they try to teach us taxes and try to do. I didn't get shit back, but because I didn't really know what the fuck I was doing, I thought I did prove my math skills were wrong. But uh, what was I going to say? So what I'm trying to say is this: the education system is flawed because so many different things they want to throw in, and we need those online schools that are actually truly not trying to make profit off of people and giving us false degrees because that was the thing that was happening. They were having people get false diplomas and stuff and degrees and minor majors or whatever, and nobody was getting the true thing, and they were paying hundreds and thousands of dollars for these things. But cut the crap out and make a real one that actually helps kids, and that will be an alternative from public school. That's something positive that should happen. That's the solution to the whole education school system issue. And I think that needs to occur. But kids are learning things in a bad way because, hey, the stuff they're learning ain't cool and they're not experimenting enough on trying to understand what they like that they can learn that can give them more knowledge. The key of this is knowledge is a good thing because it doesn't just bring intelligence, it brings uh, wisdom. It makes you more humble. It makes you more. Uh, I don't want to use the word powerful, but it sets you apart from those who just commonly do without thinking or just say, "Oh, uh, I didn't know that. Oh, wait a minute, he sure? He must be lying." These people that do these type of things, they're not educated any kind of way, and they're not trying to educate themselves or better themselves. So set yourself apart. This is why labor worker type jobs became a thing anyway, besides the fact that, the industry wants to just profit off of people's misery. And so all this has to do with one thing: control. And when I say this, I mean this with the internet and all technology involved right now, is to control us and not control us in just one way, but in every aspect. They want to control the way you think, the way you look. I mean, girls, they're using filters for crap all the time. They want to control the way you uh, buy things. They'll advertise certain things, and they're listening to you everywhere on your phone, your TV, your freaking Xbox. All that shit is listening to you. It's like you mention something, and it will pop up on your Google search or your freaking YouTube thing or anything like that. You say, "Hey, I like cars. I like Ford trucks," and then bang, Ford trucks pop up on your shit. Trust me, try it. So try to keep mentioning the damn thing you like, and it will pop up. Like, oh, I like video games. I like video games like Metal Gear. I like Splinter Cell. Splinter Cell's cool. How come they don't bring it back? bam, watch all these Splinter Cell type games pop up on the thing and stuff. This is some kind of conspiracy where you're being watched and don't even know it. And then you have to think though, when it comes to the internet, how many of these websites that are social media is actually serving the purpose that it was created for, and how many of them are actually sitting there trying to obtain not just obtain information off of you, but trying to like manipulate you mentally into doing things that they have hidden agendas behind. Okay. And that's the honest to God truth. You gotta ponder that. What's the real purpose of Instagram? Just to share photos, right? To get to know each other. Make friends with other photographers and other models, maybe. And then some of these things they call modeling ain't modeling. I don't care if you're sitting around and you got your phone like this when you're taking a photo, then you're not modeling. You know, I guess the majority believe that's modeling because they're on there and they're just putting photos on there. But it's like softcore porn. It's just like you go on there and people usually say something about, oh, you watch porn, which is a crazy thing, right? Because I'm not a teenager that's having wet dreams anymore. And so that's stuff like when you're young, you're all obsessed with porn. Most people still do all through their whole life, but I don't see a purpose in it. And so when people tell me this, the first thing I say is, I don't need to watch porn. I got Instagram, so I start laughing. It is the truth, though. I'm looking at Instagram like, God dang, this is a beautiful woman. Look at this beautiful Latin woman. Oh my God, look at that black woman. Look at this. I'm looking at every woman on Instagram. And then the cool part is when you watch those videos where they show what the girls look like. They got one where, and it's funny as hell. I don't know if I can find it, but I'll try to find it again on the internet. But this guy was videotaping every girl he knew who was on. He would go to their house or something. He's videotaping all of them, taking their freaking faces off. And he said he'll show their online photos, and then he'll show what they look like in real life. And you're like, what the hell? Like there's so many of those, and you're like, what the well? You're like obsessed with them. Then one of them I said, I was like, what? And I went on Instagram and unfollowed her ass because it's false, it's fake. And so with that being said, that means that they're selling something fake to us that we don't need. That's corrupting and changing society in a way that's not good. Okay. I'm going back to a simpler time right now, what I'm about to talk about. Where it made sense. Okay, it made sense to have a few channels that you could watch, and you didn't have to pay for every damn thing. You should just plug a TV in and bam, it works. But for some reason, I believe when Obama became president, nobody paid attention to when they cut the regular stuff off to where you can just plug a TV in and just watch it. And then also we had these converter boxes, uh, cable. You had to have some kind of cable or converter box to watch a TV. And then we got all these flat screen TV shits. The thing about it is these TVs don't even last that long. I bought a $200 50-inch, and that sucker only lasted 2 years. I bought a 50-inch uh, picture tube TV with a plasma thing inside of it. That sucker lasted for, 15 years. But and I paid more for it too. But then the thing about it is the one that was 200 I bought on a Black Friday and all that. That sucker only lasted a year or two. That's some bullshit. That means that technology isn't even built to perfection. If we're gonna build these things, we need to build them to perfection. Back in the day, these things worked, and they work all right. It's like with technology now, it's kind of like the stuff they sell in infomercials. They'll make so much things, and it's like, oh, they'll buy this. So it's a try and miss. You buy it, oh, it works, and people want to buy it. Everybody wants to buy it. But if it doesn't, no one wants it. They scrap it. They get rid of it. It's kind of like the new thing. So every time they create something new, they want to scrap the old thing. This way of thinking is bad for humans personally, I believe, but good for the businesses and the corporations that make these products. Okay, but it's bad for us because it makes you think that the things aren't really valuable enough. It's more like, and that's the thing. You would buy an Xbox. Let's say right now you would buy a PlayStation 5, and to you it's valuable. But then they come out with the PlayStation 6. So that's more valuable. So now this other thing that you thought was valuable isn't, so you scrap it. That doesn't make any too much sense because it was valuable to you before, but now it isn't. So it shows you that the value that people put in things isn't credited no more. And if it's a thing, an object, an animate object that you can't hold valuable to you, or personal to you, that you do at one point in time, and depending on how long until they make the new thing that you find valuable over the other thing, that means that you have no loyalty to anything or anyone. It means you have a disposable lifestyle when it comes to choosing things or people in your life. You really just throw them away and move on. That's why you have this dating problem where people will date someone and then oh, fuck it, I'm gone. And they meet another person, keep going and going like that. They don't want to sit there and take the time to truly get to know that person. Maybe one day didn't work. Okay, you didn't like that person that day. Go hang around with another day, see how they feel. Maybe they was in a bad mood that day or whatever. But no, they don't do that. They just keep moving. Oh, this guy, that girl, that girl. It bleeds into, what happened with the way people look at technology and throw things away that they found valuable to move on to something new shows you the lack of loyalty and the lack of loyalty in personal lives with people. That's what I'm trying to get at. And the increase in the overwhelmingness is just crazy. Now to talk about some George Jetson shit and Spacely Sprockets, they're steady trying to build these AI technology robots and stuff. Right now, AI artwork that can turn into something, or AI that you can make your own chat bots out of photos. Oh, you can take photos of dead people and bring their voices back and stuff, and they're live again. You can do all this stuff. But how much of it is good? They talk about AI that can read your memories now. That's very dangerous. They can put false memories in your brain. If there was something that could just show you memories straight up, and you didn't, they show you memories straight up. They can't be altered at all. This is the true memory out of this person's mind. Then that'd be awesome. You could use that in court instead of that bullshit lie detector test that ain't real. And but there's so much stuff they're doing with this AI, and in a way, it is dangerous. Not in the fact that making it learn or talk back to you, but it's pretty damn dangerous. And I have to say that the world could be a lot easier and better if we drop some of these things. There should be a thing to start blacklisting certain websites truly. And there should be a thing to get rid of stuff that's irrelevant to society when it comes to technology that's being created and put out there. And so this is just what I'm saying. And maybe I'm wrong or whatever, but it doesn't make sense to put all our hope, all our time, all our energy into stuff that doesn't help us move steadily forward as humans. If your life is always on the internet and you don't have too many people you socialize with, then it becomes pretty depressing, and we have an issue of being lonely and miserable. And this is what's happening in society. And those that do try to get out and talk to people, they're shunned because these people already got set groups they like to hang around, things they like, and they can't understand you because you've been all in this internet world or whatever. So, I didn't want to make it all about the internet, but that's the main thing that we all deal with. A device that should have been able to help unite mankind is actually tearing mankind apart and causing all kinds of delusions, confusions, and sick desires of ignorance. And I don't think this is what God intended, And if people think that mankind will move forward with technology, I can easily see it also being destroyed by technology. And the way everything else is going in the world outside of technology, God is coming soon, if not now. So think about how you use any form of technology. That being said, peace be with you all. Blessings upon you always. And be safe, happy, and cool.